And now, carrying you live from FEMA Region 4, is the pissed patriot himself. Pissing them liberal nut jobs, douchebag Kool-Aid drinkers off one day at a time is what we do, whether they like it or not. And as for Barack Obama, that's one shit stain that you cannot wash out with Clorox. Sit back, tune in, and enjoy carrying you live for the next 2 hours. The Pissed Patriot Radio Show.
Sand out his mouth. Yeah, it's American pride. Got that red, white, and blue. You can run, but you can't hide.
I'd rather cut me and you out of them, but give them to that sand nigger. Excuse my French, because that's just what they are.
Yeah.
Hey, I call it and see it like it is. I mean,
yeah, and that's how it is, right? I mean, you know, it's about calling a spade, right?
Yeah.
You know. And that's what they are, right? And they come here, they're just shit. And they come here and, you know, they rape our system. They don't contribute a damn thing. And then at the same time, I saw a video yesterday of them booing the Canadian national anthem. Like, who the fuck do these people think they are?
Thank you. Yeah. And they come here, they want to boo us. Want to stomp on our flags, want to bitch and raise hell about this, that, and the other. Well, I'm one. If you got something to bitch and raise hell about and you don't like it, get the hell out of the country and stay the hell out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
That's exactly how I feel. And, you know, it's not even about equality. I'm all about equality.
Yeah, I am
but
too.
But it's just that for some reason they want to be above us and treated better than us.
Of course.
You know? Yeah. You know, if they're allowed prayer time in school, then why the hell aren't we allowed Bibles in school?
Thank you.
You know?
You know, that's one thing I would agree on 100%.
Yeah. And then they have in their shithole country, if you were to go on vacation in Saudi Arabia and you were to get caught with the Bible in your bag, you'd be arrested and maybe even get put to death or something out there. Here, they're building fucking mosques everywhere. Like, that's just, you know, it's a double standard right there. And it goes to show that, you know, when they're in power, when they're in control of a country, you know, it's minority rights don't exist. But in other countries where they're the minority, that's all they whine about is their rights and this and that. So it's, you know, they're very hypocritical. If people say Christians are hypocrites, they got nothing on Islam.
And then between that and you goddamn communist fascist book, as I call it, sitting here trying to censor your posts and trying to shut you down on what you do, you know.
Yeah.
You get to a point you don't know what to do. And speaking of that, did you see the picture of Mark Zuckerberg that I put out?
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny. that little faggot. I mean, I don't know what, you know. I don't know if he's being paid by them, or if he's just made the mistake of hiring a bunch of them that are in charge of the community standards on Facebook or something. But it's not fair. I mean, because there's groups that are getting shut down
left and right.
Yeah, there aren't even hate groups. There's groups like the Pegida group got shut down.
And here's the thing: I put that particular picture up. I ain't gonna say what it said on air. I put that particular picture up. We got a couple of boycott Facebook pages that we have started. I put that picture up, and that page had literally been up 12 hours. I put that picture up, and that picture stirred so much bullshit in 2 hours, it was unreal. Had people reporting it, wanting it taken down.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, and then that'll get taken down, and then a group, innocent page about Pegida in Canada got taken down the other day. And it's not even a hate page. They made a point of no hate stuff allowed being posted on there.
Yeah, and
it gets taken down.
And this right here is what gets me.
The
Facebook,
Death to Israel page.
Yeah, I was fixing to say that the Death to Israel page is still up.
Yeah.
They'll take down these patriot groups and these patriot-based pages, but yet this fucking Death to Israel page is still there. Facebook refuses to remove it.
And then they say, oh well, because the first couple times I've tried reporting just the page, it says it doesn't violate the standards, and then if it maybe tried reporting the individual pictures. So there's pictures of mutilated children and stuff on these pages.
Yeah, and yet that won't even get it.
Yeah. But you post one little funny thing about Muslims or something, and
or
you get a 30-day posting ban.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, and it's just maybe they've infiltrated into Facebook standards, community standards or something.
Well, I can tell you what I think. I don't think it's really a matter of they've infiltrated. I think it's a matter of Facebook's outsourced it over there because Facebook's too cheap to pay the American citizen to do that job. Is what I think. Or a Canadian citizen, they're too cheap, so therefore they outsource it to them sand niggers over there. That's what I think.
It could be, but it could also be infiltration too. Because I've read in Pamela Geller. You've heard of Pamela Geller. She's the one that stopped the mosque from being built at Ground Zero there. And I've heard of a couple other speakers like Bridget Gabriel and people like that, and they've talked about it. And they said that what they do is they have like evil countries like Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and these countries. They donate money like college grants to Muslim kids, and then they go into they pay for their schooling to go to all these universities, and they donate money to these universities so they get all these special treatment. And then they go into things like political science, media, law, things like that, and then they infiltrate. And next thing you know, the people that are making decisions are getting into politics. They're getting into, universities and their professors and all that. And all of a sudden, more and more agendas are being pushed for them. It's the silent political jihad is what it's called.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Yeah. And people, they try and defend Islam, and they say, oh, they're not all terrorists, and the United States is the one that's funding ISIS, and blah blah blah. ISIS is just a small little part of the problem.
Thank you.
The bigger problem is the moderate Muslims, because the ISIS isn't voting and to have bacon banned from restaurants, and isn't demanding halal meats everywhere.
It's these freaking moderate Muslims that runs the corner store that's got the turban wrapped around his head, that's jacking the gas prices up through the roof, that's scalping people. That's the problem. Yeah.
And you hear so many stories of some stupid bitch wearing her thing, demanding to have her face covered for employment, and then they try and have it so that that they won't hire her or whatever, and then she sues them. Like in my country right now, there's this ignorant Muslim woman from Pakistan who has been here for 5 years and is lucky enough to get her citizenship. She goes to the citizenship ceremony where she takes her oath, and she wouldn't take the thing off her face, so they wouldn't let her do it.
Ship her ass back to Baghdad, as I say.
It gets worse. It gets worse, though. So she goes and postpones it, goes and sues the government, and the judge agreed in her favor, right? So now our prime minister, who, unlike your President Obama, who has no balls,
yeah, you got that right.
Our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, he actually has balls. And he actually is said, absolutely not. We don't do that in this country. We show our faces in this country. And he's appealing her decision, right? And you get all these left-wing liberal faggots, saying, oh, he's just being a bigot and blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is he's doing what every other politician should be doing, and that's protecting Canada, protecting our culture. And you know, and it's just these ignorant ones, and that's nothing to do with ISIS.
No,
it has nothing to do with terrorism.
It's just one of the things. Really, ISIS is not the issue. The issue, like I said, is these mom and pop corner stores just being run by these sand niggers with the turbans wrapped around their heads. These moderate Muslims that's causing the problems, just scalping the prices, just sticking it to the people, sticking it to the American citizen. About every store down here in the southeast that you go to, a frickin' sand nigger is running it. I mean, I'll point blank, I'll say it. That's what I call them, as a sand nigger. I mean, and I'm the type of person. If I see him at Walmart, I'll give him a death stare. I ain't afraid to. And that goes for these damn illegal Mexicans down here too.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to say though, a lot of people get East Indians and Muslims mixed up, and I got to say that there's a huge difference. And you know, I don't know about out there, but out here, I mean, East Indians, they come here, they actually work hard, they actually contribute. They try to mix in better with our culture. They go to hockey games, they drink, you know, and they actually contribute. They own businesses. They work hard. They mingle with white people, you know.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to.
We've got some here like that, but
they're not trying to take over.
99.9% of them is that sand nigger Muslim breed.
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean is East Indians are better. That's like Sikhs and Hindus are better, and they shouldn't be lumped in the same category. And a lot of the time, you know, they are, but they shouldn't be. And just because they, you know, they have brown skin and they wear something over their head, they're different than the Muslims, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've no contribution whatsoever to this country, and they whine and everything. And then the funniest thing about it is when something like that shooting that happened in Paris a few months back, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the next day, all these Muslims all over the world are protesting and making a big thing. But they're not protesting against the shootings. They're protesting about stopping the cartoons.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous ain't the word.
Well, ludicrous is the
ludicrous
word.
is more like it.
Yeah, and you know the fact that, and then they want the world to feel sorry for them, but then they don't feel sorry for the people that are victims of Islam, and then they blame America. They say, "Oh, America's the real terrorists," and this and that. Well, then how come? What about you know when they went to India in the 70s and murdered a bunch of innocent Hindus trying to take over?
Thank you.
Were you going to blame America for that? You know, America didn't even occupy the Middle East in the 70s. Who are they going to blame?
And then and then here in the United States, you got this thing going on now with Jade Helm, number one, and then you got this damn. I'm going to say it. I guess the BLM didn't learn the first go round with Bundy Ranch. Now they're going to try and pull this stupid bullshit with these Oregon miners. Like I said, I guess they didn't learn the first go round.
No. But, you know, it's just you know, I think, you know, from judging from everybody's, you know, opinion of Obama now compared to many years ago, I mean, he's finally shown his true colors, and I don't think, I think that, I can predict that, you know, it's going to be a Republican president in the next election for sure.
And, you know, I've said it and I'll say it again, Obama, he's a shit stain that can't be washed out with Clorox.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And he's, you know, and I just heard that he's actually put a thing preventing all investigations of mosques for terrorism. They're not allowed to investigate mosques for terrorism anymore.
Of course. That's because he's a muzzy himself.
Yeah, he's pushing, he's involved with them. And, you know, and ISIS is more than anything, it's just a distraction to compare to what's really going on and what they're really doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and these liberals who, you know, are just, they have the IQ of you know, like, I can't even, like a monkey or something, you know, they have no brain, and all they can say is call you names and stuff when you are outsmart them in an argument, and
that's one of the things. The damn monkey's got a better brain than a liberal.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, damn monkey's got a better IQ than monkey, better than Obama or a liberal.
Yeah, and then when these libtards that I get into an argument with on Facebook, because every once in a while I like to go on these other kind of groups where they're not necessarily anti-Islam groups, you know. Yeah. I've even gone to buy and sell groups and groups called fish tanks and different things. And I'll post, you know, anti-Islam stuff just to stir the pot a little bit. And then these libtards...
Usually it does stir the pot.
Yeah, and then, but they can't stand, they don't have a leg to stand on in the arguments, because once you hit them with the true facts, all they can do is, well, you're a bigot. Oh, no, you're a racist. You're a neocon. That's what you are. Like, and they say it as if they're like exposing me and pointing it out, like, ha, I caught you. You know, you're a racist. Like I've been trying to hide it or something. You know, and I'm not a racist because Islam isn't a race. And I have brown friends of other religions that I get along great with. They're good friends. That, you know, Sikhs and Hindus and Asian people. So it's nothing to do with race. It's to do with a fucked up mentality like Nazism.
Yeah, you got it.
You know what I mean? Like, and you know, if this was 1937 and you were to do a big rant about how you hate Nazis and don't agree with it, nobody would dare say that you're racist against Germans.
Thank you.
Right? It's just this retarded mindset that these liberals have now. And, you know, their intentions are good. I mean, they want people to be treated fair and this and that. But the thing is we're not dealing with, you know, Chinese people that are coming here to make a better life for themselves, or, you know, people from Mexico that, you know, are moving here to make a better life, or wherever. We're dealing with people that want to come here and take over our country and destroy everything we stand for and build a mosque where our house used to be. You know what I mean? That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So, and they got to look at it like that. And,
you
know, the only reason why we're even having people defending Islam and all this is because, you know, Adolf Hitler never bothered trying to disguise what he was trying to do as a peaceful religion.
Thank you.
He never bothered doing that, you know? And, you know, so now, all these years later, pretty much the same thing, Islam and Nazism, you know, when it comes to hating Jews and all, and being totalitarian and just, you know, Islam or nothing, you know, that's how their mentality is. It's pretty much the same as Nazism, except for that, you know, it's not, Nazism was never disguised as a peaceful religion, you know, so it's a good move on their part years ago, and, you know, but, you know, when Shitskin Muhammad or whoever, you know, decided to try and disguise this as a peaceful religion, you know, it was a good move on his part, because, you know, that's the only thing that's helping push their agenda now. Is they hide behind political correctness and, you know, and to quote, you know, a great speaker, Bridget Gabriel, who I recommend everybody check out. It's time we put political correctness where it belongs, in the garbage. And that's exactly what we should do, you know, and that's all we can do, really, to defend our country now.
That's all we can do.
Yeah. So, you know, and I think everybody just needs to drink a Red Bull and wake the fuck up and realize what's going on before it's too late.
And you know, and I've said it and I'll say it again, as far as this shitbag in the White House. Impeachment on him, I don't think it's going to work. The only thing that's going to work is go up there and just drag his ass out and be done with it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Assassination is, you know, you know, because he, you know, the problem with that is that, you know, he's president. It's very hard to get to, right? But, you know, something like that.
Well, you speaking on assassination, I'm going to tell you a little something about that. I heard through the grapevine. He was down in Louisiana. It's been back about a year or so ago, and a police chief like to capped his ass. CIA, but they found him. They found him though. He was hid in a manhole cover. Police chief like to capped his ass.
Huh.
So, did you see
I
that
never
thing?
heard about that.
Yeah. Well, I heard this directly from someone that was just down in Louisiana. Did you hear this thing, or shall I say, did you see on MSNBC the poll they took on would you vote for Hillary? 85% of the people said no.
And that's good.
Yeah, damn right, that's good.
But she's not Bill. She's not Bill Clinton. That's what people need to understand, you know.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, he was a great president. He was cool, you know. But Hillary is a bull dyke for one, and she is. You know, there's a reason why Clinton was getting ahead in the Oval Office. I mean, he wasn't getting any from her. That's for sure, right? And they only had one daughter. That's a direct sign of lack of sex. Only one child, right? So, no. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing, and she's no different than, you know, one of those butches that you see, you know, with the short hair that tries so hard to look like men, but yet hate them so much. she's one of those, you know, and you know their whole marriage is just a farce, right? And you know,
You got that right.
Nothing like Bill Clinton. She probably hates Bill Clinton. Wants to do everything opposite of him. Mm-hmm. Only reason why she's probably even married to him is because she can feed off of his popularity and maybe get voted in because of him. But, you know, as long as people know that it's not Bill that they're voting for.
Voting for her.
Yeah.
That's something else, too. I want to ask you this. I believe it, and I honestly think it. That one in that White House, I believe his wife might be a little bit of a transvestite.
Yeah.
I mean, look at her.
Well, she's definitely more manly than him. I wouldn't be surprised if she fucked him with a strap on every night. Right? Wouldn't be surprised, right?
You got that right.
And then the next day he goes and does one of his, you know, his famous speeches where he's like, "Allow me to make one thing perfectly clear," you know, and then he's, you know.
I've noticed one thing lately. I don't think he's had to use his teleprompter lately.
No. But he definitely doesn't have any manhood, and you know, I've heard all about how, you know, Oprah Winfrey funded his whole fucking campaign and used her influence and her power, and pretty much, you know, what it was is people were tired of what George Bush was doing and all that, you know, and thinking George Bush was so bad because they were going to war. Well, of course they're going to go to war. What, do you expect him to just let those pieces of shit get away with what they did on 9/11?
Hey,
right?
I've said it once and I'll say it again. You got the Three Stooges. You got Jesse Jackson, Barack Obama, and Al Sharpton. And and I'm sick of hearing about Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Especially that damn Al Sharpton. That son of a bitch. He looks like he's got damn AIDS or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's the one that's causing all these problems. He causes more problems than good because he's sitting there telling black people how bad white people are and how we oppress them and this and that. That might have been how it was 100 years ago, but we're beyond that now. You know, we can't have any control of what our ancestors did. So why are you trying to punish us for slavery for 200 years ago? You know.
Yeah, and you know, this is something else here that gets me about him and the IRS. They want to sit here and come after me or you for back taxes. Well, you
I've heard about. I heard about
yet
that
somebody
shit.
chose so much back taxes. It's unreal.
Yeah. You know, and it's a double standard. Just like how there's the Black Entertainment Channel, but can you imagine? You know, if we had a white entertainment channel with you know, Toby Keith and you know,
Phil
Dwight
Robertson.
Gilson.
Thank you. Yeah. Start a white entertainment channel and see what happens.
Yeah.
Man, they'd be calling us racist in about 5 seconds. Quicker than that, they'd be calling us racist.
And that's what I'm talking about earlier. When, you know, I'm all about equality. You know, but it's got to work both ways. Equality is treatment equal. You know, And it seems to me that, in the past 50 years or so, there's been a bit of an agenda against white people. They're trying to take away our power, our, any kind of, things that we used to have, advantages or whatever. They're taking them away and they're giving them to them.
Of course.
All of a sudden, if you notice, there's less and less European immigrants coming here, and there's more and more of the third world ones coming here. It's been like that since the 70s.
Yes, it has. And and it's really got worse in the 90s, and in the last 10 years it has.
Yeah. And then they wonder why. They wonder why our economy isn't what it was in the 70s and 80s.
Thank you. And number one, don't get me wrong. I ain't got a problem with some immigrant coming here for a better life. What I've got a problem with is you coming here on the taxpayer's dollar, welfare, food stamps, not paying taxes, coming here illegally. That's what I've got a problem with, and not being able to speak English. If you come here paying taxes, working your ass off to make a living and can speak English, I have not a better problem with you in the world. What I have a problem with is these damn illegals that come here and mooch off the freaking welfare system.
Yeah, and then come here and start gangs and all that shit. You hear about. I'm sure you've heard about the Muslim grooming, rape gangs and stuff
I have.
in Europe. And the no-go zones where these guys will beat you up for going in there and all that. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You don't come to our country and do that, And, of course, they're doing it in countries like England and that where people really aren't allowed guns. But I'd like to see them come to the United States and try that.
Yeah, no shit.
Or even here in Canada, I mean, we don't have as many guns as you guys do. But there's guys here in Canada that, we'll put a boot in their ass. If they come here and try that,
Hey, it's like this. We got 100,000 pissed off rednecks ready to go.
Yeah.
Believe me, there's people here that's pissed off and it's had enough. It's been had enough.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. I mean, and people try and say, oh, you shouldn't, concern yourself with what's going on the other countries and all that. And it's not happening in Canada. But this is the thing is, if you heard about a bunch of break-ins happening in the neighborhood next to you, right? You're going to go and you're going to buy some extra locks for your door and a security system to make sure that, your house doesn't happen next.
And also probably going to buy some heavy firepower, too.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's better safe than sorry and be prepared.
Thank you.
Because,
I agree.
And that's the United States and Canada. They need to watch what's happening in Europe and Australia and see what's going on and realize that, we're next. We're in stage 1. They're in stage 2.
Thank you.
And then countries like, countries like Egypt and that.
Stage 3 and 4.
3 and 4, and that's and we're next. Lebanon, all those countries. Lebanon used to be a Christian country back in many years, 20, 30 years ago, and then it got taken over. Bridget Gabriel talks all about that in one of her speeches about how she was growing up in Lebanon, and all of a sudden all these liberals they made all the effort to let all these Muslims in, and then once they were in, they took over. And then they laughed at those liberals and said, you betrayed your country. You think we're going to care about you? And but they're like, oh, well, we helped you get in here, though. We fought for you and fought for your rights and this and that. And, the Muslims just laughed and killed them and took over. And that's what's going to happen here soon.
And, I've said it once and I'll say it again. They bitch and raise hell. They can't shut the border down. Ain't got enough manpower.
Yeah.
That's a crock of shit. They honestly, in my opinion, put armed guards at the border every 100 yards. Tell them anybody that comes across, fire.
Yeah.
About 3-4 days of that, and them so much as we could be coming through them gates like they should, and not be trying to sneak across this border.
Well, yeah. And it's I watched that. I can't remember if it was Spain or one of those countries in Europe where they're trying to stop them all from coming from North Africa there, and they're watching in video, and there's all these ones coming up from a wall, And it actually reminds me of, because they're all trying to stop him from coming over the wall. And, it kind of reminds me of, when you overclog your toilet and you try and flush it and it starts trying to overflow and you're getting the plunger and you're trying to stop the shit from coming up and flooding your bathroom.
Going and going.
That's what it seems like with our borders. Whereas me and you are standing here with plungers trying to, keep our country shit free, and there's more and more of it flowing in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's and so it is, and people try and disguise Islam as this religion of peace, right? It's like if you have a pile of shit on your floor, and you can get a thing of Lysol air freshener and try and spray it all around and spray all the air freshener and say, oh no, it's roses. Eventually the real smell of shit's going to come lingering through. That's exactly how it is with Islam. For years, politicians have been trying to tell us, oh no, they're a religion of peace and they're just like you and me, and they're coming here, they belong here too, and we all got to live together, and it's all about peace.
Islam is anything but a religion of peace.
Yeah, it's a religion of pieces of shit.
You got it. And then some.
And yeah, and they come here and try and disguise it with their air freshener, but more and more things are happening. More and more things are happening all over the world that we're seeing, and they're being exposed now. And more people are starting to see it our way. And in a couple years from now, there won't be any more denying of what it is, because the blatant smell of shit is just going to be so much in everybody's face that guys like Obama aren't going to have shit to say. No pun intended there, but yeah. But yeah, I mean that's my take on Islam, and
Barack Obama, the biggest shit stain in the world, as I call him.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, he is definitely the worst president ever.
Thank you.
And really the only reason why he was voted in is because people were keen on having a first ever black president. People thought that'd be cool and a step in the right direction.
Well, first off, he's not black. That right there is one thing that gets me. He's not black. He is a Muslim and white. He's pure sand nigger and white. Honestly, calling him a black, that is an insult to blacks, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That right there, honestly, that is an insult to them gang niggers down there on Broughton Street. I mean, I hate to say it. That's an insult.
But at the same time, though, he was presented as a black president.
That's just
and all that, right?
He was presented as a black president, but he's not.
Yeah. But in 2008, I mean, they used that for the marketing. A lot of people thought it would be, a step into the future. A big movement. Yeah. So they thought, and he came in with all those beautiful speeches about we're not enemies, but we're friends, and this and that. And then you read up on the guy's background, and you find out that all he was just like a community leader in, doing local communities where they discuss things like board of directors or whatever, right? And so of course, in local communities and that your big speeches are going to get you somewhere. But when you're running a fucking country where you got to control a military and their tactics,
thank you.
Your little limp-wristed faggot approach isn't going to work.
Thank you. Yeah, no. You gonna tell you what he was? He was a community leader in Chicago, is what he was.
Yeah.
Over there in the hood.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if Oprah Winfrey, were to fund your campaign, you could be president, or myself if I was born in the United States.
Yeah.
It's Oprah Winfrey. With Oprah Winfrey, she's got a lot of influence and all that with the whole black community. So of course, with her behind him and all that, that's why he got in. And then in 2012, I guess, he didn't have much competition. That Romney guy was an idiot, and so of course, but I guarantee you that
that's something else I want to know is how in the hell did that fat black fucking bitch, excuse my French, get her own TV network?
Well, she's a billionaire, and
Yeah,
she's had a very popular talk show. You know, and money buys things, right? I mean, money, and she's popular with all the women watching TV and all that. So I can see why. And you know, maybe she didn't. She's just one of those liberals who just wants equality and everybody to get along and be together. And you know, that's why she's got all these other adopted kids from all these races and all that. You know, she's all about that kind of thing. You know, the we are the world kind of people. You know.
Yeah,
but
she is.
Yeah, and they have good intentions, but they're stupid.
You got
and
it.
They can't tell and you know, every once in a while, the whole, you know, 9 out of 10 times that might work for, you know, Chinese and Japanese and, you know, people to come here from other countries that want to make a good life. But then every once in a while, there's an agenda of something, you know, your little peace and love kind of mentality isn't going to work for.
Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. And every once in a while, you know, you just got to be tough with these people because, you know, they're tough with you. You know, they're looking to behead you, and
of course,
and turn, you know, and yeah, and then they try and attack Christianity every time. That's their defense, is they attack Christianity. But tell me this, you know. They say, like, when you know, pedophilia runs synonymous with Islam, right? Everybody knows that with all the child marriages and,
so
you know, Muhammad had a 9-year-old wife and all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But so then when I point that out, you get these libtards who will say, oh, well, what about Christianity? What about the Catholic priests? Well, yeah, of course, what the Catholic priests are doing is wrong, but the difference is,
it ain't as widespread.
Yeah, the difference is that when a Catholic priest molests a little choir boy, he knows he's doing wrong. He knows, and he lives his life in shame about it. And there's nothing in his Bible that he can use to defend it. He doesn't use his religion to defend it or condone it or justify it.
Yeah.
He knows he does wrong, and he lives the rest of his life. He gets deordained, he gets his priesthood taken away, and he lives the rest of his life in shame. When a Muslim gets caught with raping a 9-year-old girl or dressing up a little boy as a Bazi boy, like they like to do in Afghanistan, and sodomize them and all that shit, you know what he'll say? Oh, this is my right. My great prophet Muhammad, his wife was 6 years old, and he consummated the marriage at 9, so that is my right, and I follow my great prophet, and how dare you say anything about it, you racist. You know, that's their defense to it, right? And that's the big difference, is they don't have shame in molesting children. Right? That's
and I'm one, like I said, Islam, it's honestly, it's a damn plague that needs to be eradicated.
Yeah.
You know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Nuke Mecca, be done with it. You know, I hate to be that way, but like I said, it's a plague that needs to be eradicated.
Yeah. Cut our borders off and deport as many of them as we can. And over the course, do like a 3-year plan. We cut our borders. We deport as many of them as we can. And, you know, after 3 years, when we've deported absolutely every one of them back there, and there's no more of them coming here, then we nuke them, because their cancer is spread over here. So we got to send some of that cancer back there before we give them the the nuclear therapy there, right?
Yeah, and you know, this is something else too. That's stupid. This is something else too. That stupid sand nigger in that White House. He has just announced that he's going to be forcing you to compensate blacks for slavery. I'm one. If you don't like it, screw it. And I mean, like I said, I'm disgusted with that stupid summit in that White House. Disgusted ain't the word.
Yeah, and me too. And I'm not even American.
Yeah, and that's bad to
him.
say. Yeah, you're not even American and you hate him.
Well, but he's fucking around with us Canadians too. I mean, he's
Believe
the
me,
whole the old oil pipeline thing. He's delaying that. He's fucking around. You know, that would help our economy greatly.
It would help us down here too.
Yeah, and he hates him and our Prime Minister Stephen Harper don't get along because Harper is a right wing, conservative kind of guy, right? And he doesn't like the whole limp-wristed faggot liberal approach that Obama likes. So they don't get along, and because Harper has balls, Obama tries to tell him what to do and this and that, and Harper's like, no, fuck you. I'm staying loyal to Israel. I'm still going to help Israel. I don't care if you aren't anymore. I'm still am. Because Canada supports Israel, and we always have. And we always will, right? That's Harper's approach to it, right? And Obama doesn't like that. And there's even rumors that Obama's going to try and use his campaign people and try and lend them to the people that are campaigning against Harper in the next election. And they're going to try and help them, the Liberals, get into office here.
Yeah.
And try and fuck with the election, right? Like
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So, it's people here don't like Obama either. So.
You hear anything about Walmart's closing across the United States? Anything in connection with this Jade Helm starting in June?
No, I didn't hear about that.
They got a report going around now that Walmart's in certain states that they're going to pull this Jade Helm exercise in is going to be closing.
Huh.
Yeah, now.
A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs then.
Yeah. Makes you wonder why they're really closing them stores. I mean, it was like 40, 50-something stores across the country, if not more than that. I think it was like 100 stores total. Actually, more than that, according to what I could see.
Yeah. Well, the good news about that is they mostly only hire Muslims and people that, don't speak English, legal immigrants and that kind of thing that come here. So, I've been to Walmart so many times where I can't even ask a person where something is because they don't understand what I'm talking about.
Thank you. Because they're not American or not Canadian. They're an immigrant that's probably here illegally.
Yeah. Or they're wearing a fucking thing over their face and, wearing bed sheets and curtains for clothing, And it's and then they wear these things over their heads and like it's Halloween or some shit, and then they expect to be able to people to come and talk to them and all that around here, but nobody wants, they just don't fit in. It's just not our society to have a face covered up. We're an open face society, and it's almost like they come here and they cover their face and that, and they go, oh, that's my right, I can wear what I want, and they do it to be defiant with us and throw it in our face. Like I heard in England, I heard another guy that everybody should listen to, Pat Condell. He's a British guy, and he talks a lot of smack about Islam on his videos. And he's talked about how there was a salon in England where a Muslim woman wearing a thing over her face, a burqa or whatever, went and applied for a job there, and they said, okay, yeah, we'll hire you, but you can't wear your burqa while you're working because, it's a salon, right? You got to have everybody knows, like, in a salon, a hairdresser has to have good hair, and for the customers to see the hair and that, it's just a thing about hairdressers, right? I used to date a hairdresser, and she used to say that she's always got to have good hair because her clients see it, and it's just everybody with any logic would know and understand that, right? So this piece of shit, and that's what she is a piece of shit.
That's what they all are.
Yeah, and goes and sues the salon for not hiring her unless she take her burqa off, and she won, of course, because our system is fucked. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not sure I'd want that Haji cutting my hair anyway. I mean, yeah. But I mean, if she's qualified.
She's qualified, yeah, but like I said, I hate to be racist about it, but I wouldn't want that Haji cutting my hair anyway.
No, but if she's willing to not hide her face from me, then
different.
sure, I mean, there's Muslims that I've met who, they don't wear that stupid shit. They don't wear bed sheets and curtains for clothing, and they come here to actually have a better life. And you can't really hate on them, but it's ones like that who are pieces of shit. And that when she went and she actually sued that salon and won and almost put that salon out of business. So hardworking people who worked hard and had a salon go out of business because of that bullshit.
Of course.
Right? Like that just and that has nothing to do with ISIS. That has nothing to do with extremism or anything. And that to me is a bigger threat to us than ISIS ever could be.
I agree. Like I said, ISIS really. Don't get me wrong, ISIS is a threat, but the ones that's really a threat is the ones that's over here, that's getting our welfare and our taxpayers' dollars. That's the one that you really need to be concerned about.
Mm-hmm. And building more mosques, and I just in Fort McMurray, which is it's our big oil town. I don't know if you've heard of Fort McMurray, but it's a big oil rig town, right? And I read a while back in the newspapers that some Muslim group out here wants to build a multicultural mosque and complex. It's a 10-acre place where there's all kinds of like a gym and a conference center and a big mosque and all this, but it's multicultural. But of course, it's Islamic. So they're just saying it's multicultural as part of their taqiyya to lie and get it built. And the countries that are donating the money to have them built are Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, all these evil countries, right?
Of course.
And conveniently enough, they're doing it where? In our oil capital of Canada, Fort McMurray, which means that they're. So what I'm kind of wondering is, what if they have some kind of a plan or something to try and blow up our oil wells?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Right. And then,
like I said, I'm one. In my opinion, sand niggers, they're all dirty, they're all filthy, and you can't trust a single one of them. Yeah.
And then another thing we got that's going on too is they in Cold Lake, Alberta. Here we have there's a base, so we have where all our fighter jets come out of, and conveniently enough, there is a mosque built just down the street from there, really, really close to the base. And of course, for the government put up opposition, and we didn't want to have that built there. Those pieces of shit fought for that particular spot to have their mosque built there. They fought and fought and fought for it. Why that spot? Why? They're up to something.
Of course they're up to something. Never fails with one of them pieces of shit, as I say.
Yeah, right. And it's all a big evil plan of theirs. And of course there's some innocent Muslims that don't know any better that just follow it because they're raised that way or whatever. And they may not be in the conspiracy, but there is definitely a conspiracy going on. So I'm not saying just drive by in your pickup truck and get out and beat up the first Muslim you see, because that guy most likely doesn't have anything to do with it, right? But
although many times you're right too.
Yeah, but overall, the overall agenda is what's evil, right? Just like what Sir Winston Churchill said. Individual Muslims may have splendid qualities. They might be nice to people and humble and peaceful and all that. But overall, the overall influence of Islam is going to be a threat to everything we are. And that's exactly it.
I agree.
And you can call me right-winged or whatever.
That's me. You can call me a right-wing racist. I honestly, I really don't care.
But you know what? The reason why we're called right-wing is because we're right.
You got it.
We are right. And there's, and liberals are just so stupid that they can't see it. And anytime you try and challenge them and try and say, okay, well, tell me what I'm saying is racist. Tell me how I'm racist. Tell me, why, there's no Buddhist hate groups on Facebook? Why is there no, thousands of people have like Pegida rallies or English Defense League rallies where there's thousands of people marching against Buddhists? Why is that? Why is there nobody going to... Yeah, how come there's no...
That's because the only ones that's starting the problems is the damn muzzies.
Yeah,
Point
they don't
blank.
want to. They don't want to admit that.
It's the damn sand niggers, and they just don't want to admit to it.
And when I ask these people this, like I said, well, how come, there's nobody going, no hate groups against Hindus or Sikhs or any, and then they don't respond. They say some stupid answer like, oh, well, you're just a racist, and I don't need to give you an answer to that because you're just a racist, and blah blah blah. And it's like, what, is that your only defense? Is that your only, rebuttal to anything? I wish I could get these people on a national TV debate, and put them right in their place. Maybe one of these days we'll get a libtard on this show and we can do a debate right on here, on this show.
Honestly,
challenge one of them.
I'll be quite frank with you. I don't know about you, but if I also get a libtard on this show, I'd probably point blank rip their damn throat out. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, that's the whole thing, is to put them right in their place and tear them a new asshole, and make them look retarded in front of all our listeners. Okay.
You got it. And to be quite frank with you, doing something like that would probably get our listenership up, because it also be a little bit of a comedic side to it too.
Yeah. Well, one of these days we'll challenge one of these libtards and see if they'll come on the show, have a live debate.
I'd love to. What we'd have to do with that, have to have you call in on have to have you do a connect through Google and leave the open caller number open, because you can only get one person on this call at a time. But
well, to tell you, I don't care if I'd have to call NASA myself and get on there. I would make sure I'm on that show for that.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to rip a liberal a new asshole. It would be quite interesting.
Exactly. And then they talk about Israel and how bad Israel is. Well, if you leave Israel alone, you wouldn't have these fucking problems.
Thank you.
It's like, if it's just that if they would just leave Israel alone, there'd be peace. That's plain and simple. But they won't leave Israel alone. I remember in the 90s that Arafat piece of shit, and that
have you heard
that other what?
Have you heard anything about Ford possibly going to buy General Motors?
No, I haven't heard about that.
I'll send you the link to it on Facebook.
Okay.
Someone just posted it on Facebook that Ford's looking to buy GM.
Oh, that's cool. Huh.
I would have never known that.
Yeah, but what I was saying though, right, in the 90s, Arafat and then the Prime Minister of Israel there, they had a peace meeting and then Bill Clinton had them both in the White House and was mediating.
Yeah.
And, Israel said, I'll give you 95% of Israel, and we can just for peace, just leave us alone, let us have our 5%. And you can have the other 95%, and just leave us alone, right? And they would, and Arafat wouldn't budge. He said, "No, I want all of it." And it's not because of land; it's to do with anti-Semitism. In the Quran it commands them: kill all Jews. Kill all the non-believers, behead them, take their land. That's what it says in there. In the Quran, and it's telling them to do that. And that's the main driving force behind why they're after Israel. And that's what these fucking libtards don't understand. They'd rather just ignore it or say there's two sides to every story, and, the media is just trying to fearmonger us and this and that. Well, then what? So a guy that I talked to in England who tells me that, he can't even walk down the street because Muslims try and jump him for going into Sharia law no-go zones. or people. But what is he fear mongering? Is
Thank
he
you.
got some kind of agenda with our government or something like that to get votes? Or something. It's just retarded that they try and sugarcoat everything. But yeah, that's just how they are, though.
Of course.
And and you can, like I said earlier, you can spray all the aerosol spray you want and try and cover up the smell and tell us, oh, it's roses, but shit is shit, and Islam is shit.
Yeah.
And the sooner the world realizes that, the better. So we're all going to be.
You got that right. The sooner the world realizes what Islam really is, the better. I mean, like I've said it once, I'll say it again. Islam, it ain't no world religion. It ain't no religion of peace. And first off, it's really not a religion. It's a cult. And second off, like I said, it is anything but a religion of peace. It's far from it. Islam's nothing but a cult. They're nothing but sadistic demon worshippers is what they are.
Mm-hmm. And, you reap what you sow. Because if they were really a religion of peace, I wouldn't have over 7,000 members in my group. Right? I wouldn't. I would have, if they really were a religion of peace.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure if I were to open up an anti-Buddhist group tomorrow, it would take me 10 years and I still wouldn't have 7,000 members.
Yeah.
But I've had this group going for about 3 months, and it's been secret for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I have 7,000 members.
Yeah. And that's something else. I've probably got about 5 groups that I admin, and honestly, they all 300-400 members. I'm probably fixing to start hitting it heavy and get them numbers up.
Yeah. But and because but the thing is that the demand for these groups is out there.
Of course it is.
But why is it? Why is that? Because if they were really a religion of peace, people would be like, "Oh, why are you hating on such a peaceful religion?"
Well, that's just it. They're not a religion of peace. Never will be a religion of peace.
Exactly. And you can't hide the truth forever.
No.
And it's obvious, right? And and they try and pass it off as just the extremists and this and that. They did a survey a few months back. 80% of Muslims in UK support ISIS and support the shootings in Paris.
Of course.
80%. Right? And in a lot of other countries, the percentage of it was high too.
Yeah,
right? So even if, let's say, only 10% of Muslims were... Yeah.
And that's something else I want to touch base on too. These mom and pop Muslim stores is over here in these corner convenience stores. All that money you giving them for gas, giving them for food, they're sending it straight back to ISIS. They're sending it straight back to them ragheads over there fighting.
Definitely. Like that whole halal meat, that's a scam.
Damn right it's a scam.
It's for Muslim jobs. It's only Muslims who are allowed to be hired to do it, in the factories and all that. And all the proceeds and everything, it goes to fund terrorism. It goes to fund, Hamas and all that bullshit. These, that you hear about causing all these problems in Middle East. And it goes to fund them. Like the Muslim Brotherhood, the guys that there's guys that are members of the Muslim Brotherhood in the White House that are,
of course,
and they're with direct links, and they're with direct links to Hamas. And if you notice, since Obama's been president, the media they've kind of shifted. It's kind of gone from Israel being the good guys to, well, there's two sides to every story, and it takes two to tango, and Israel's not innocent, and they're just as bad, and they won't leave Palestine alone, and
I'll be honest with you, that's just it. Israel is innocent, and they better leave Israel alone.
That's how I feel too. But of course,
they better point blank. They better leave Israel alone.
but of course, when you have, like I said earlier, when all these Muslims that are getting into media science and political science and law and all that, they're getting into the media. And next thing you know, you got Kareem Akbar as a fucking newscaster.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be over here to begin with.
Yeah, but then the other problem is there's a lot of them that are born here now because they come here and they have like 8 kids.
Yeah.
Right?
They have more like 10 to 20 kids.
Yeah. And they rape the welfare system.
Many race is what they do.
Yeah, and then they rape the welfare system, and then their kids get government funded things to go to school, right? So they go to university, and they get scholarships and all this shit. And next thing you know, there's more. Like I've heard in England, they have over 12 MPs in their government, right? Muslim MPs. Right, and those are the people that make decisions, that vote, that get laws passed, and all that. And they're the ones that are fighting to take away our freedom of speech, and fighting that so that we can't have bacon served to us in restaurants. Like I went to IHOP. You got IHOP where you live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I went to IHOP this morning for breakfast, and I had ham, bacon, sausage, right? And I ordered an extra side of bacon, right? And and I was thinking to myself, if anybody ever tried to take the right to eat bacon away from me in a restaurant, I would carve their fucking eye out with the fork that I'd use. Right? And I was thinking that. And they're pushing them.
You'd go in and carve them up with a dull butter knife.
Yeah, I would. I
agree.
And then for them to try and say that, it offends us. Like I heard there was a restaurant who they had a sign out front of their restaurant about their bacon burgers or something like that they have. And some Muslim woman complained and said, it offends me when I see that sign. And they made them take it down. A restaurant.
I'm gonna say something else too. The damn Muslim, they're filthy. They'll sit there and they'll wipe their ass. Excuse me for saying this. They'll wipe their ass with their bare hand. That to be true. And
then make your donair with it after.
Yeah, and of course they don't believe in washing their hands or washing.
No, that's what I mean. And then they make their donair. They have those donair restaurants.
Yeah.
The falafels and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then they, with those same dirty hands, they make your donair for you when you go and order it.
Them stupid sandwiches, they don't believe in cleanliness. They can forget that with them whack jobs.
No, they don't, and they don't believe in work either. I mean, it's okay. There might be some that work, or some that but for the most part,
about 1%, if that.
Yeah, but for the most part, they come here and they go on welfare. Like here in Calgary, I go to. I have a friend that lives in low income housing, and we go out of his out of the underground parking and we pull out, and you look around and there's all kinds of people wearing sheets and curtains and all this shit. And
wearing sheets and curtains.
And he's kind of hesitant about joining my group, right? And he's like, yeah, this is why. It's because I live in this building with all these people, and if they find out I'm in your group, something could happen to me. And but and that's what he's saying, because there's so damn many of them, and this is a low income housing building where it takes years for. Yeah, if you want to get in it's like a nice building for people that don't have a lot of money, that so they pay cheaper rent, right? Yeah. But you have to be on a wait list, sometimes for years,
of course,
just to be able to get into one of those places, right? And no fucking wonder, because they've moved into them all. They've taken all of them.
You got it.
And they come and they don't work.
No,
they don't do anything.
And that's the same with the damn Mexicans down here. They're the same way. The Mexicans and the same niggers. It used to be down here. It was the damn niggers didn't want to work that was on the welfare. Well, now it ain't the damn niggers. Now it's the damn sand niggers and the damn Mexicans.
Yeah, well, I do like burritos and tacos and nachos and that kind of thing.
I do.
But so I guess they contribute a little bit more than Muslims do, right?
Yeah.
Because I say, I prefer I like tacos better than donairs made with hands, the dirty hands after you wipe your ass with shit, right?
Thank you. You got it. And I can honestly say one thing about a damn Mexican: they will work their ass off.
Yeah, they work.
They will work their ass off.
Yeah, and they're and they contribute, and most of them are Catholic too, so they're not coming here to push an evil religion or an evil cult. I mean, they don't have any agenda. When they come here, it's they want a better life because they don't come here to rape our system. They come here because it's shitty living in Mexico or El Salvador or any of those countries. So they come here. They're not coming here to take over. They're not coming here to push any kind of religion on people or get anything banned or try and sue and any of that shit. There's only one religion that does that, and that's Islam.
Well, hey, Joey, I'll be right back. Keep going, okay?
Okay. But, I've heard, where they in the Quran, it says for them to play the victim. And that's kind of what they did back at the very beginning. Mecca, it was actually originally occupied by a group of people called the Meccans, right? And they, at first, when Muhammad and that started coming around and first started, they welcomed him. They let him practice his own religion and all that, and they were fine with him. And they didn't start having a problem with him until he started mocking their God and saying that Allah is the real God and their religion is false and blah blah blah. He didn't, and then they had a problem. So what does he do? Because he was so severely outnumbered, he starts playing the victim and saying, "Oh, they're persecuting me and this and that," and so then he got allies and this and that, and eventually he came back and overtook the Meccans, and did big genocide and got rid of them. There are no more Meccans in this world, right? And now Mecca is their main spot, their main place, and it's their trophy mosque. Just like when they did their 9/11 thing, they wanted to build the mosque at Ground Zero. It was their trophy mosque. And Pamela Geller stood up and said, "No, you're not going to do that shit." But that's why I have a lot of respect for her and other speakers who stood up. And it's their trophy mosque, because that's what they do. Is they build a mosque where they defeated their enemies, and they throw it in their face. And to them, 9/11 was a big victory for them. That's why they're all dancing in the streets in Palestine, celebrating over that 3,000 Americans. And, that's why I'm glad that, that Ground Zero, that they never built that mosque, because that would have been the biggest slap in the face to the American people. I'm not even American, and I was offended when I heard about that shit.
You're right. That would have been the biggest slap to the American citizen. I mean,
yeah, and
that would have been a pure fucking insult.
Yeah. And for them to, I don't know if you ever watched, Bill O'Reilly, right? On the View, he was on an episode of The View, and he was talking about that, and he said, it's inappropriate, it's not fair, it's not right to the American people to build a mosque here, and that Joy Mayer bitch, who's incredibly stupid, and Whoopi Goldberg, right? Who, and she just, and they couldn't say anything smart to rebuttal him, like typical liberal, right? And so what do? Liberal. They get up off the stage and walk off the stage because they couldn't, and it's just the perfect example of how stupid liberals are, and how, for somebody to not see how that would be an insult to the American people, it's retarded. It's the same reason why they don't build a fucking Japanese embassy at Pearl Harbor,
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
You speaking of liberals and getting a liberal on the show, I just had a bright idea.
Yeah, what's that?
You heard that Facebook group, Hillary 2016?
Probably. I haven't I haven't really looked into it. But.
There's a group on Facebook called Hillary 2016, and it is loaded. It is loaded with nothing but liberals. The listeners in America, they'll know. You know, if you're a patriot, they'll pretty well probably know that group. I used to go in that group a couple months back and stir shit. Troll that group.
I like to do that too on a lot of groups.
Maybe we ought to go in that group and see how much shit we can stir and try and get one of these douchebags to call into this show.
Yeah, and tell them, oh yeah, when they try and complain about what we say, and they're like, oh yeah, well, you got the balls. We'll see if you can challenge you to come on a live debate on the show.
Thank you. Call into a live show.
Yeah. You know, and challenge, goat them in, and that's what I like to do too. I like to stir up shit. I go on there, as they say, a used classifieds group where people go in to post stuff that they're trying to sell or buy or whatever. And I go on there, and I post little memes and stuff from my group, you know, about like that, making fun of Muslims and that. And you know, of course, people are like, "Oh, you're such a bigot," and blah blah blah. And that's not right, and you know, and it's funny. And then I get everybody else in my group to like, I'll post a link to that group on my page, and then everybody will join that group, and a bunch of us will be posting stuff and commenting and just fucking with these libtards. And it's funny, right? Because and to me, it's just like Jesus said in the Bible, right? He said, "A doctor is for the sick, not the healthy," right? And you can post all the anti-Islam stuff on our pages all you want, but it's preaching to the choir. It's to that people that are on other pages that have nothing to do with Islam, where you got to recruit people. And a lot of good members and stuff that I've recruited are people from these other pages that are just, they agreed with what I post and that, and then I private message them and tell them to join me and join my group. And, you know, a lot of good, solid people I've gotten from these other places. And that's how we're going to grow, is by spreading the word and pushing our own agenda, pushing our patriotic agenda, you know. And, you know, eventually when everybody's awake, we're going to take our countries back by force if we have to.
So we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is something else, too.
What's that?
People bitching right as hell. They want me to do this radio show. Well, something that people's got to understand. I'm doing this radio show free of charge. I haven't got no monthly expenses right now. But I need to improve things a little bit. Now, what I mean by improve things, I need money to get website hosting, access to a Shoutcast server, to a real Shoutcast server that won't have no downtime. That's a lot of the issue with these shows getting put off, is the simple fact of every time I get ready to do a show, the server that I'm using, it has, I think, 5,000 listener slots. Hang on, I'll tell you. Yeah, it has 5,000 listener slots, but half the time, it's down. It's off the air. And, you know, people, it ain't going to take much. You know, to do the web hosting and to get the Shoutcast server, I'll probably be looking at probably less than 50 a month. Not even that. Probably 30 a month for the web hosting, the domain name, and the Shoutcast server. The Shoutcast server is the main issue that we need to get resolved. The Shoutcast server, I can get probably 1,000 listener slots, probably for $20 a month, not even that.
Right.
I have a PayPal account for the station, and I also have a GoFundMe account set it up. Like I said, can't keep doing it for free. I have no problem doing these shows, but I need money in order to get a Shoutcast server, and that way we have no downtime. Then that way, anytime that we want to do a live show, that we can do it. And like I said, you know, I'm not sitting here begging for money. I'm just stating facts.
Right. And that's, you know, all the good shows, they have, you know, they have sponsors, or they have, you know, things like that to keep them going, right? And that's, maybe we'll work on that, right? I'm sure there's some people that'll you know, invest, right? Get a couple sponsors. Maybe we'll
that's the thing. I'd like to get a couple small time sponsors, but you know, I don't want nothing corporate, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to have somebody telling me what I can and can't do on my show that I run. You know, You know,
No way, right? And if we try and censor it, then it's just going to be it's just going to be a libtard show, and we don't need
you
that.
got it. Like I said,
You know, if I can't call a Muslim a piece of shit on a show, then it's, you know, there's no point in being on the show. You know.
You know, I said it once, I'll say it again. We are Pissed Patriot Radio. We are slap fed to frig up. Anything goes. If you don't like it, get the butt hurt cream. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. If you don't like it, get the butt hurt cream and get over it.
Yeah. I know. It's time for these liberals to either put up or shut up, you know, because us patriots, we're not going to be silenced anymore.
And you know, something else, people, these damn liberals, they want to bitch and raise hell about gun control. It's like this. When they come to your house, don't come knocking on my door wanting me to defend you, because it's not going to happen.
No, and that's the thing is, you know, and I think about this, right? I mean, 9/11, right?
Yeah.
They took over. What was it? A pair of bolt cutters or something like that? Was something that they used to take over the plane, right?
Basically, a pair of bolt cutters, I think, is what it was.
Yeah. But think about this. Think of this. If Americans were allowed to have guns, 9/11 would never have happened.
That shit would have never happened.
Exactly. Right? I mean, and the main people that are pushing to have no guns and all that, it's the UN.
Yeah. And I'll say it again. Fuck the UN.
Yeah, and they're really infiltrated with evil Muslim countries who are pushing their agenda, and they're using the whole voting system, you know, because there's.
Of course, and I'll be quite frank. The UN needs to be done away with.
Yeah, and they're talking about taking away our right, freedom of speech, where we can get prosecuted for a hate crime for speaking out against Islam, and even in the Quran it says those who are. You cannot speak out against Islam. Even criticizing it is death and all that, right?
And you know, I'll say it, and I've seen it posted on Facebook, and I know you have too. Them blue helmets, they gonna make good target practice.
Yeah,
they gonna make real good target practice.
For sure. And another thing too is, you know, they you know, I think that when I just mentioned here about criticizing Islam and speaking out, and you're not allowed to question it or it's death, that just kind of reminded me of another thing that people like to compare to Christianity. Christianity, there's Bible study groups where you go and you can read the Bible and you can discuss it and see how you take it and, you know, your own perception of it and all that, right? And they promote that kind of thing. It's okay to do that, right? But then when there's the Muslims, you cannot question it.
Yeah.
You cannot. You read in the Quran that it's okay to fuck a little 9-year-old girl. You can't say, oh, well, you know, that's not right, or that's a fucking pedophile, and, you know, pedophiles need to die. You know, you can't say that because you can't question Islam. You can't criticize it. And if you do, the punishment is death, right? And in a lot of these countries, like Saudi Arabia and all that, that's how it is. And, you know, so slowly but surely that cancer is spreading over here. And, you know, the UN is trying to pass that law where you can't speak out against Islam, or it's a hate crime. You go to jail for it. You know, you can get prosecuted, just like in Europe. It's like that now, right? And eventually, you know, it's going to be like that where, you know, there's Sharia law where you can't speak out against Islam. It's going to be a reality in our countries. There, you know, Canada and the United States. One of the best things about both our countries is freedom of speech. It's part of our amendment, and they're trying to take that away. Next thing you know, they're going to try and take away beer and bacon. You know,
they've been trying to take away freedom of speech for 10 years.
Yeah, and you know, it's just because they want to take over, and they want to disarm us any way they can, and if they can make it so that every single group on Facebook that, you know, notifies people and tells people what's going on and, you know, wakes people up, if all those groups are all of a sudden banned, nobody's going to know what's going on anymore. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, our country's going to be gone.
And that's something else I want to touch on too. Speaking of Facebook, as you may, well, I know you know, we have a group on Facebook that is called Boycott Facebook July 4th, 2016 for supporting terrorism.
Yeah, I'm on that group too.
I don't know about you, but we're calling on that day or before for everyone that is an American patriot or patriot period to deactivate your accounts. Let's point blank. Let's send Facebook a message that they need to wake the frig up.
Yeah, I say so too.
I mean, people, there's other social sites out there. We ain't got to put up with this bullshit.
No. And double standards. I mean, if you can have a group called Death to Israel, and and have pictures of mutilated children and all that on there, then why the hell can't you have, a group? There's not even a group that says it's Death to Islam. I've seen groups that there was a I Love Israel page that got taken down, and like I said, the Pegida Canada BC page got taken down, and it's just it's their agenda being pushed behind the scenes. They're in charge, and they're it's a corrupt system, that we're fighting up against here.
Of course, and I'm surprised. I'm gonna tell you, and I know you remember the group. I think I created a group. I actually changed the name of a group called Death to Mohammed.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that group is still up. I am also surprised that the group Barack Obama, the biggest shit stain in the world, I'm surprised that group's still up. Honestly, I don't know why, but
I'm part of that one too.
I'm surprised that those two groups are still up. They have not been taken down.
Yeah, well, even my group. I mean, I post so much hateful stuff on there every day. Yeah. I mean, everybody on, you can honestly say it's a hate group, and they and that has but that also could have a lot to do with. Remember, a few months ago we talked about your Obama group there. We said to make. I even suggested to make it secret, right? And that's probably could be why it's still standing, and why mine is still standing too, is because it's secret.
That I think a lot of it too is we watch who we let in there too. I mean, we don't just let. I get requests from these damn Nigerian sand niggers all the time. I get them 10, 20 a night. I think that's a lot of it is who gets in there. They get it. People get in there. The posts start getting reported, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. But if it's secret and only certain people are allowed in there, like where I hand select people that are now joining my group,
that's me.
Then,
I hand select everybody.
Yeah, and that's why we're still standing, right?
Hey, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any problems with Facebook with them with the number of members going up and down? Here the other night, I can't remember the name of the group. It was in two of them that happened, I think. I went in and I added close to 50-something people off one of my other profiles. It's a Patriot-based profile. And it was like 390 is what the total members was that afternoon. I went back the next morning, or went back within 24 hours, and it was back to where it was like at 230. Like, none of those people even got added, but I showed that they had got added the previous 24 hours before.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had that problem. I mean, I've had, where people leave the group or whatever, right? But that's, a lot of the time, somebody will, because I encourage a lot of my members to just add all their friends. So they'll add like 50 people from their list, and then, 5 or 10 of them will leave right away. And, but, I've noticed that, but I mean, that's about it. But slowly but surely we're building an army and we're getting the word out.
That's all
and, yeah. And, I figure, once we're at 10,000 members, now we're out 7,000. Once we're at 10,000, there's going to be a significant amount of people in every country.
Yeah.
And, it's, there'll be enough people that have rallies, have petitions, and make a statement in every country, right? And that's what I'm doing here is just building it, and once it's built up enough, and once there's more people in, and more of these news stories are showing up in people's news feeds on Facebook here, and they see what's going on, and it'll spread. It's spread like wildfire, and it already has. I mean, 7,000 people already, and it's going to get bigger, and once this show gets going, and more people are going to be listening to this show, and all that, it's good. It's all of it. It's just everything in total is going to help our cause. And Pegida, they're getting all stronger all over the world. They're more and more. That you've probably heard about the Reclaim Australia rally back in April 4th. It was a huge success. Hundreds of people showed up from all over. And then of course they have the Pegida rallies in Germany that thousands of people show up to. And we're just starting to get established here in Canada. So eventually, it's just give it a couple of years here, and there'll be no more denial about anything. And it just kind of reminds me of before World War II started, the Nazis weren't a threat. The Nazis, if you were to tell somebody in 1933 that the Nazis were a threat and going to kill us all and this and that, people would laugh at you.
And
right?
Joey,
yeah,
something else that I want to touch base on real quick. And
Yep.
honestly to God, I believe Facebook's doing something behind our back.
Yeah.
The computer I'm currently using, my girlfriend's had it for 3 years. In the
Uh-huh.
last... Baby, how many months you been having problems with that computer locking up? With this computer? How many problems has it been going on between the two computers? About, 6 months now with them locking up? Been having problems, folks, with it now for about 6 months. With the computer that I'm on right now locking up in the browser, and it's only doing it on Facebook. Lo and behold, she goes and buys a brand new Dell. It's over a $500 computer, and it's still doing it. It's still doing it in the browser. It's still locking up, and guess what? It's only doing it on fucking Facebook, people. What's going on?
Yeah.
And it's only doing it at night. Honestly, I think these communist pieces of shit, and that's what they are. Excuse me, that's what they are, is a communist piece of shit. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Mark Zuckerberg is nothing but a communist little faggot that loves to suck cock. I'm getting pissed off and I mean it, because it's the damn truth. Still having problems with mine locking and freezing up, and then she's having problems non-stop with a brand damn new computer. So like I said, they doing something behind our back, him and his little cronies. And she just rebooted it and logged into Facebook, and it's lagging and swirling like, oh, get out and fixing to lock up again. So like I said, I don't know what you're doing, Mark Zuckerberg, but I suggest you stop it, because the truth's fixing to come out one way or the other, you little faggot.
Yeah. Well, like I said, all those scholarships that these Muslim kids get for going to school and all that, that's what it's paying off, right? Because now they're working for Facebook, calling the shots. And
I want to touch one more thing. I know it's not the computer locking up. I've got a 10-year history, 10-year background in computer repair. It's the browser itself locking and freezing up, and it doesn't do it nowhere else. I've been keeping an eye on both of them, and like I said, I know for a fact it's doing it whether you're in Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, or Opera. It's doing it in all three, and it's only doing it with Facebook. So like I said, I don't know what you're doing behind their backs, Mark Zuckerberg, you communist little piece of shit, but I'm pretty sure you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. You there? You there? Joey. Joey. Well, ain't that odd, folks? We just lost him. Going a wild rant on Facebook and you lose him. Ain't that some shit? What you trying to do? What you trying to do, you commie? You trying to censor us again? Oh, this is going to be an epic show, folks. This is going to be epic.
Yeah, hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What happened?
Okay. Oh, I pressed the wrong button and I put myself on hold here.
Ah, damn! I was beginning to wonder if he was trying to censor us again.
No. But what I was going to say though, right? It might not even be Mark Zuckerberg's fault because with all this, all those equal opportunity bullshit that they're trying to do now, where you have to hire a certain amount of Muslims and a certain amount of, that's probably what's going on now. Is he probably has to hire a certain amount of Muslims to work in his office and all that, and then so once again they're using their special rights and privileges, and they're taking advantage, and they're using our own, tolerant society against us, and to push their agenda further.
Man,
just like what's going on in the White House, just like what's going on the media.
Yep.
They may be pieces of shit, but there's some smart ones that are.
Yeah, and speaking of media, that's about like Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
Last year at Bundy Ranch, of course, them liberal whack jobs at Fox News, they got bullshit twisted up ass backwards and didn't even tell the truth. That's nothing new, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and just like we had a news company here in Canada called Sun News, the Sun News Network, and they always told the truth about Islam, what they're trying to do and all that, and that they were a threat and all that. They actually were telling the truth about it.
Yeah.
Where the other news ones are all have the liberal agenda, and they all try and push the Islam envelope, right? But with what they did, mysteriously, Sun News got taken off the air.
Of course.
Because they were telling the truth, right? And they're trying to hide the truth.
That was just it. It was telling the truth.
Yeah. And the thing with the Fox News, a lot of the time, they do tell the truth. Like Bill O'Reilly, and that Judge Jeannie.
Jeannie Shapiro, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. She and that other guy there too. The one that was on the head-to-head with that Chaudhry piece of shit, Andrew Chaudhry. The guy, and he tore him a new asshole on that show. That guy, I forget his name, but there's on Fox News is probably out of all of them, Fox News is probably the most right wing. They're the ones on our side telling the truth about Islam for the most part. They might have fuck up and say a couple false things, but it is the media. But at least they're on the right team.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, yes. But at least when it comes down to it, their views are a lot similar to ours. Yep. And when they do their rants and that.
Yeah. Speaking of rants, I'd like to see how many views this episode's going to get on YouTube with that little Facebook rant.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm probably quite a bit. And we're going to promote. We're going to promote the shit out of it on my page and some other pages. And we got a lot of people behind us, and with the support, of our fellow patriots, we're gonna kick some Islam ass.
And you talking about Hillary Clinton and all? You heard that radio? Now you probably heard him if you have or not. That radio show host Pete Santilli.
No, I think the name sounds familiar, but
all I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna say it on air. Just go look up Pete Santilli. He made a remark. It's been back about 2 years ago. Not even that. He is another independent radio show host who takes no corporate sponsors or none of that bullshit. It's been back about 2 years ago or so, I'd say. He made a remark about Hillary Clinton that she needed that CU next Tuesday needed to be tried, executed, and shot in the vagina.
Yeah.
And of course they. Saying that he's a damn FBI shield, this, that, and the other. I got news for you. That man's not no FBI shield. That man just states the truth just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, give it some time, they'll be saying I'm an FBI plant, that I'm a liberal, undercover liberal. I'm pretty sure, give it some time, them damn liberal trolls will be attacking me too. It's just a matter of time.
Well, they do. That's what they do. And you try and anytime.
And I'm one. They want to attack me. Go right ahead. That's just more publicity for me.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I don't know if you heard what happened with Pegida, but they are not neo-Nazis. I mean, they're not all white people.
Yeah.
So, they're and you're not allowed to speak hateful. You're not allowed to be racist or
Yeah.
anything like that and be part of their cause. They'll boot you right out, right? And anybody who has a brain knows this, right? But of course, when they tried to make a movement last month here in Montreal, the CBC News, who's one of those left-wing liberal news stations out here, painted them and painted them as neo-Nazis. Said that they're a neo-Nazi group from Europe who's here to try and rid Canada of Islam and this and that. So of course, all the do-gooder liberals, showed up and did an anti-protest and ruined their march, right? And and it's just a tactic of the left-wing liberals to, crush the competition before it gets big, and keep it down, hide the truth, and but what they don't understand is, they're all about gays and gay rights and gay marriages and equality and all that shit. You know what's going to happen when Islam gets enough power?
It's going to take over. It's already taken over.
Yeah, but do they not know what they're going to do to gays and lesbians and the people wearing rainbow shirts, holding each other's hands, saying we all equal, we're all we are the world, like that they do. You know what they're going to do to those vegetarian tree huggers and all that are sitting here calling me a bigot right now? They're gonna hang those people like that they do in Iran, like they do in Pakistan. They're gonna kill all the gays and they're gonna rape all these women and everything like they're doing in Sweden right now. I'm sure you've heard about that too. And they're gonna just like they did when they took over other countries. The liberals were the first ones that they killed.
Yeah, of course.
And they're using our own tolerance, our own freedoms against us.
They always
things that
do.
make our countries, and the things that make our countries great are going to be our downfall at the same time.
You got it. That's just it. That's going to be the downfall of this country and to Canada. Unless we stop it.
Yeah, and it's very much like they say it's good to if you feel a little bump on you and you think you might have something wrong and you go to the doctor right away and get it checked out because it could be cancer, right? You don't leave it for months and months and months and then go to the doctor and allow time for the cancer to spread.
Well,
right? When you feel a little bump on you and you're starting to get suspicious that maybe something might be wrong, you go to the doctor right away.
Well,
because the longer you wait, the more the cancer will spread. And that's what's happening. I said it once
and I'll say it again. Islam, it's nothing but pure cancer is what it is.
Absolutely. And I think that the best way to deal with them is nuclear chemotherapy, right?
Yeah, you got it.
And that's how you get rid of it.
Mecca.
Exactly.
Mecca,
right at the heart of the cancer, Mecca.
You got it. Nuke Mecca.
And another option I thought of too, but of course this would have to be run by the people of Israel first. But another thing I've thought of is, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have I'd rather have Jewish and Christian immigrants here than Muslims. I would trade all of them.
Yeah.
So what I would do is they're always trying to push all the Christians and Jews and stuff out of the Middle East, right, through genocide and whatever else. I say, fine, we'll make a trade. We'll take every single Jew and Christian and Yazidi and Hindu and whatever else out of the Middle East, so that they can have the entire Middle East all to themselves, all Muslims, right? And then we, in return, will send every single piece of shit that we have here back there.
Yeah,
and if they were born, and if they were born here,
pack your bag.
And if they were born here and they try to use that as a little technicality, like they will, and say, "Oh, it's my rights." Pack your bags, and we'll send them to Saudi Arabia by default if they were born here.
Rights.
Yeah, and then we'll send them. We'll send them to, if they were born here, we'll send them to Saudi Arabia by default, right? And then we'll close our borders. No foreign aid, no military intervention, because we won't need to, because there's no Christians and Jews to rescue anymore. No Israel to protect anymore. And, the only real thing that I can see that would be maybe a little bit of a problem with my plan would be that, we would lose Israel. But I'm pretty sure that, maybe Israel might enjoy coming to, Australia or Europe or Canada, United States, and have a complete peace and not be bothered by Muslims anymore. And they come here and become Americans or become Canadians and not have and there would be no more conflicts at all.
I
no reason.
100%.
Yeah, and they whine about American military intervention, and the Americans won't mind their own business, and they come there and get in their business and this and that. Well, there wouldn't be a need to anymore if there was no Jews and Christians to rescue.
I agree 100%.
So, and we'll give them the Cuba treatment, where there's no flights to and from Middle East, there's no trading, there's no nothing. And, maybe we'll just figure out a way to take their oil, and then that's that.
No, man, I'm one. They can keep their freaking oil. They can have their fucking oil.
No. I don't mean trade for it. I mean fucking take it from them.
Go just flat out take it. Yeah, I agree with you there. But I'm one, in an honest opinion, they can keep their fucking oil. Just go to hell. Just go to hell back over here and stay there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, if we could figure out a way to just take it all from them,
take it and be done with it. Yeah.
Drain their whole thing of oil, take it all, and then let them be there, let them starve, and then cut off their foreign aid, and then they can hate us for free. And then meanwhile, we'll have, refugees that are people that actually want to be here, that deserve to be here, that aren't going to try and sue for not being able to hide their faces from us.
Or try and kill you.
Yeah. Or wear bed sheets and curtains for clothing. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
We was talking about doing this, getting a liberal on the show one night. When we do that, I may, if I can figure out how to do it, I may do a live YouTube hangouts, what I may do with that also, and broadcast it live on YouTube and on my site. I think it'd make it quite more interesting.
Yeah, if you know how to do that shit, I mean, that'd be cool. I don't know how to do that kind of stuff, right? That's not my department. But if you know how to do that shit, but I'll help you market it. I'll help you, it'll be probably the most watched show ever, probably.
I'm one, I say, go on and start marketing it. Let's go and start trolling some of these groups and see if some of them's got the balls enough to call in, and then we'll go from there. And like I said, I think with the YouTube Hangout, I think that you can set it up to where to go from Google Voice.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem.
YouTube Hangout.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem we're going to have, though, right? There's so many stupid libtards out there. It's going to be hard to find the right one that we want to tear apart on this show, because there's so many of them that need.
Well, you know what we do with that? We pass the number around and we give them not even a minute to get their point across, and we hang up on them.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you hang up on one or two or three or four, and you gonna have them some bitches calling in at damn busy. You gonna have them calling in nonstop.
Yeah. Trying to.
Yeah.
And they'll all say the same thing.
Up, of course.
And they'll all say the same thing too. They'll all say, "Oh well, Christianity in the Bible, they did it too, and this and that, and you know, and then they'll try and attack Christianity, and then they'll try and say that they're not all terrorists and this and that. Well, they're right. Only about 10% of them are, right? But only 10% of Germans were Nazis. And look how that turned out, right? And I'm pretty sure that in 1939 there weren't 1.6 billion Germans.
And I think
there's a lot less than that.
And I think what we'll do also on that, instead of doing a 2-hour slot, probably end up doing a 3 or a 4, because it's just going to be that damn interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, there's other guys on you know, people on my group and that would love to come on here. I have you know, I've had people from Australia. I've had a guy from Israel. One of my good friends.
I've seen that before.
And he wants to come on the show and talk about what it's like in Israel and what's going on, and for real. And you know, he's not working for the government trying to fearmonger or something. I'd
love to have him on. And Joey, I'm gonna tell you something else too. I'm also looking for a co-host if you know anybody that's interested.
Well, I'd be interested in that for sure.
Okay. Well, what we would do with, what we do with co-hosts, we do it pretty much like we're doing now. But I'd have you call in via Hangouts instead of the number. For one, because of cost for you, and two, so we can leave that line open so we can rip people apart.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd be into that for sure. You just show me how to get on that stuff and Google or whatever it is. And
well, it's pretty much Google Hangouts, and just call in like you do right now. That's it. I mean, as far as the broadcast software and all, I handle all that myself because...
You know what? I think I have Google Hangouts on my phone. I just didn't know what it was.
You probably do.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. But... yeah, definitely, and you know, we got to get the word out. And there's a lot of patriots, like, you know, in Australia and Europe and everywhere, that would probably love to call into the show. You know, and
well, and with stuff like that, it'd probably be better to get them to call in via the Google Hangout. Give them just give them the station's Gmail address and get them to call in that way via the Google Hangout. And I want to touch base on something else too, people. If you're going to be listening to this on YouTube after it's uploaded to YouTube, if you haven't done so, please go to our Facebook page. It's Pissed Patriot Radio. Please go and like us. Go look us up on Facebook and go like us.
And share it. Share the page.
Please share the living dog shit out of it. Let's get the word out, people, because it's time we rise up and stand up.
Exactly. And I'm even giving you my permission, if you're a member of Worldwide Coalition Against Islam, and, you know, spam our page full of Piss Patriot Radio links, because, you know, there's 7,000 people on there. The more people spread it,
the better.
The more people will see it, and spread it in all your other groups, spread it on your own page, you know, get the word out. You know, we want to have, you know, 10,000 listeners to this show. And, you know, patriots telling the truth and telling it like it is and getting the word out.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it so that those libtards can't stop it.
But I am going to say, we can't have 10,000 listeners without your support, your help, and also without a little bit of financial support. Like I said, I don't like asking for money, but without your help, it's not going to be possible.
Right. And we'll figure out a way to make the cause happen. You know, $20 isn't much. Split between, you know, 10,000 people, right? So
yeah, and the real reason right now that you don't hear no bumper music or nothing like that is because, as you know, in the United States, they stick it to you with these damn royalty fees. I mean, I can get a damn royalties license. I can get one for very cheap, but again, I ain't got the funding to do it.
Yeah.
And
but we'll work on that.
Like I said, we're going to work on it, but I don't want to take that chance on getting caught right now playing bumper music or any kind of music without royalties. I mean,
right.
You know, unless it's royalty-free music, and even then you got to be careful because they'll still try and nail you.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could find some patriotic bands out there that want to get their music more known and get more notoriety, and they can, you know, volunteer to allow us to play some of their music on here, you know, and there's always local bands that want to get their name out, and also any local businesses that want to, sponsor. I mean, we can advertise for you.
And that's something else that I want to touch base on too. Once I get things set up and I get a permanent website up, I am going to be advertising on that website, with Google AdSense, and I am going to be advertising local businesses. So like I said, if you're willing to sponsor, get in contact with either with me or Joey, one or the two. We can work something out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to make this a big thing. It's already, we're almost at 600 listeners, and this is just the third episode. Yeah. There's already 600 people that like our page.
Yeah, and I mean 400 of those likes they happened overnight.
Yeah, and
it was like a damn wildfire, people. Right,
and we've had these past 2 weeks. I mean, we haven't said boo to people online. We haven't said anything because we've had these technical issues, and yet people are still liking our page, waiting for that third episode. We've been advertising it for a while, and I kind of felt guilty because I kind of felt like we were
that's me. I felt
down,
guilty. First, I had internet problems with it going in and out, and I didn't want a chance doing a show, bandwidth issues, because it will cause problems, folks. And second off, downtime with the damn Shoutcast server, and that's, like I said, that's the big issue that we've got to get resolved. We've got to get funding to get a Shoutcast server. I probably less than $15 a month for a Shoutcast server, probably for 1,000 listener slots. It's just a matter of getting the funding to get it done.
Yeah, and we will. Even if 10 people donate $2, that's a month, then we can do it.
Yeah.
And we will. And and this show it's going to take off. Every episode.
Heartbeat.
Yeah. And I can't wait to get the show on the air, and get the show on YouTube. And, so.
As a matter of fact, this episode will probably be loaded to YouTube here probably in the next hour or so. I got to edit it. Not really edit it, but I got to make it into an MP4 format where it'll take to YouTube because I'm recording it via Audacity.
Yeah. And we'll put the theme music at the beginning there, and it's going to be kick-ass.
Well, I've got to be careful. I'm going to tell you, Joey, you got to be careful with YouTube because, like I told you before, YouTube, anything that's copyrighted, YouTube more than anybody. YouTube, if it's got copyrighted music in it, they'll take it down in a heartbeat. I've done some stuff with copyrighted music, and I'm surprised it hasn't got taken down yet. It's still up, and it's still getting views.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe the bands that are maybe the Creek, maybe they like your show. Maybe that's why it's not taken down. Well,
I think I do get a few people that listens from the Creek. Like I said, that's a pretty damn good group.
Yeah, you got me into them actually. You showed me that one song, and then I went and downloaded it, and they got a bunch of good songs I've been listening to, and yeah, so you learn something new every day, right? And maybe maybe we can work something out with them and promote their new albums and that on the show,
Well, I thought about it. I got to get more or less. I wanted to target some of the other groups. I have people contact me, and I just ain't got back in contact with them because I've been too busy. Well, Joey, we're going on the 2-hour mark. You about ready to call this show an end?
Yeah, I am. I'm, gonna go watch the UFC fights on TV here and have a couple beers and relax here. So.
Well, that's me. I'm probably about to do the same thing. Spend some time with a girlfriend.
Got a nice big pork shoulder sitting in the slow cooker, cooking with, and I'm gonna drink some beers and eat some pork in the name of Allah, and enjoy a night. Watch the UFC fights, have some beers, maybe smoke a joint. Hey, enjoy my freedom to do that, but I can,
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good show. This is the Pissed Patriot. bringing you live from FEMA Region 4, along with Joey DeLuca from Alberta, Canada.
Yeah. And thank you once again for having me on your show.
Anytime, Joey.
Anytime, and I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon.
Like I said, we are His Patriot Radio. Listen in little douchebags and Kool-Aid drinkers all point in time.
Crime rates through the
they like
roof.
it or not. Like us on Facebook.
Gun control is on the rise.
All right.
We make our ends meet, take what we need to survive. One shot, one kill is such a thrill. That's the way that I was raised. When I pick up a gun, I hit right where I aim. It's time to take a stand. It's time to draw the line. You better bring yours when you come to take mine. Granddaddy taught my daddy how to hunt and how to fish, how to be a man. Don't take any lip. Raised up on a good book, learned about the land. They grew what they ate, they didn't get it from Uncle Sam. It's time to take a stand. It's time to draw the line. You better bring yours when you come to take mine. So go and round up all them Yankee boys, get ready for a fight. I'll round up all my rebel friends, meet you at the Mason-Dixon line. 'Cause the South is gonna rise again. No, we're not the running kind. You better bring yours when you come to take mine. It's not really about North or South, it's about red, white, and blue. I'll fight beside any Yankee man if he feels like I do. We'll stand here today and we'll proudly say to the man in the suit and tie, you better bring yours when you come to take mine. So go and round up all them Yankee boys, get ready for a fight. You might have won that war back in 1865, but the South is gonna rise again. No, we're not the running kind. You better bring yours when you come to take mine. You better bring yours when you come to take mine. You can bring yours. But Mr. President, you ain't taking mine.